Okay, here we are. Welcome. So again, it's all people around the US this time. There is usually there is an international group. So let me introduce myself. My name is Anna Romanenko. I was born and raised in Russia, in Siberia. Moved to US almost 19 years ago. In August, there will be exactly 19 years since I live in Seattle area. So I used to be a very pragmatic person. I worked for 10 years as a senior tax advisor for a big company. And 6 years ago, something starts happening to me. Like there was some, I call it spiritual awakening, but there is some energy starts moving in my body. I start be very sensitive to other people. And I start looking for instruments that can help me to understand what is going on with me and how I can not control, but navigate with what is going on in my life, how I can be a creator of my life instead of be a victim and just see what is going on and how it's affecting me. So Neurographica came in my life about 3-4 years ago, and just a friend of mine showed me in a cafe shop, like on a napkins, like I'll show you something. I don't know how it's working, but I know it's working. So she showed me, I was hooked right away, and since then I did it for myself. And more than a year ago, I signed up for Moscow Institute Psychology of Creativity, and 9 months of very intense training, drawing, like hundreds of drawings, and I become an instructor. So here I am, instructor. I am supervisor in institute. I'm mentoring other students now, and I use Neurographica with adults and with children. I have experience to work to teach Neurographica in a children's prison. It's not enough experience. There was only several sessions, so there is not enough experience to say that I'm an expert in it, but I have my discoveries there, and I hope I gave something back to just children. I still be regular volunteer at correction center. I worked with special needs kids with Neurographica and with teenagers in general. So I am certified facilitator for systemic constellations, Bert Hellinger's method. I tried many different methods for self-discovery. I did different types of breath work, different types of body works, energy works. Like I certified instructor for one of them, and I teach people how to use energy for self-healing. I Reiki master, I'm Kalamni instructor. I do many different things, and besides Neurographica, I practice as a healer, energy healer. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. So all of this can be combined and integrated in Neurographica. And if you see, I have my YouTube channel. There is many classes there about everything that I do. I combine with Neurographica, or how I can express through the simple shapes and simple lines, energy work and breathing work, and everything is it's so visual when you draw it. So Neurographica, it's only 6 years old. Neuro and Graphica. We basically are going to draw what is going on in our mind. Neuro is our mind, our brain. Graphica, how we can express it through simple shapes and simple lines. Was developed by Russian psychologist Pavel Piskarev. I personally met him, and it's a very interesting person. practice. He is an architect. He is a psychologist. He is master of several different martial arts, and he meditates for 25 years every day. And so very interesting person and personality. So 6 years ago, he heard in his dream the word Neurographica. He started this research. There was no such word at that time. So he started thinking what it may represent. And this was an opportunity for him to combine his architect background and psychology. So it was no coincidence that it's he who discovered it. And it's become very popular right now. More than over 40 countries use Neurographica. Trainings for instructors are going on right now in Russia. Mostly there is some in Germany, and we are working very hard, me and my partner, to make sure that there will be very soon training in English. So we provide as many classes as possible. So this is a theory, but let's learn how this how it's working really. So Neurographica is the way to transform what is going on. Like there is a belief system and patterns based on those belief systems in our life that something stop us from achieving our desired goals. And we are going to transform it. We are going to bring it from our subconsciousness on paper, look at it, accept it as it is, and transform it with simple steps. Like there is nothing that you cannot do. Like my youngest client, my youngest student is a 6-year-old girl. So, and she's doing it, and you can do it as well. My father is doing it. My husband is doing it. So children can do it. There is no limitations. And you don't need to right away believe in it. It still be effective. Just trust yourself and try it. So we'll see how it makes effect on your physical sensations and on your emotional. So I believe that when we have some emotional charge inside of us that is limiting us from anything, we have a special vibration related to this emotion. And when we transform it, we changing our vibration, and everything around us starts vibrate synchronized with us without really us trying to affect anything. We're working always on our own. We're always working and trying to change what is going on inside of us. But world starts synchronized, and people around us start behave differently, and there will be opportunities, there will be chances that we can use them because we will be prepared that chances will be, they will happen in our lives. So I can talk a lot, but let's start drawing. So before we start, the most important step in Neurographica, we need to learn some basic elements. And the first and unique step is how to draw narrow line. So narrow line is a such line. I use a uniball. You can use any marker, or you can use a color pencil. Sometimes I use Sharpies. So see which one you want. So narrow line is a such line that goes wherever you don't expect it, and it's never repeat itself. So it's remind us roots or rivers or branches. So it's very organic. There is no sharp angles. There could be some exceptions, like depending on your personality. For sometimes it can be spiky. But try to use it as soft as possible and see how it's working, like when everything does not repeat itself. So when we have something in our life that does not satisfy us, it could be stress, it could be job, it could be relationship, it could be health. So whatever does not satisfy us, it means that we repeating the same pattern and does not have outcome that we desire. So how we can change this pattern, how we can change those processes in our lives and achieve it. So it means we need to learn to do something differently. Our mind doesn't like changes. Like there will be some resistance for sure. So stay with me, observe the resistance, but don't try to give up, because in this case you may even more train your brain that like give up is okay. So we will learn something in different today. Very simple, so but it's different. If for some reason it's very hard to do neuroline, because the brain is so trained to do patterns, so they very easily go in sinusoids or some different or going in loops. So see if any of your neural lines, like on prior page, if you had any pattern. So this is not neural line. So this is something that you repeating constantly. And when we repeat something, of course, we can achieve some simple goals easier when we repeat some simple steps. But what if we try to achieve very complex topics like happiness in our relationship? So patterns don't really help much in this case. So for my children, I usually offer to do some simple exercise. We can use a coin, we can use any other round of objects. I have stone, or we can use a cup from your marker. Let's see. And we start, like if you use a tip of a pen or pencil and just push this round object, it starts rotating and it creates unusual line. Try different speed and see how it's working. So this is basically a neural line that we are trying to create. So when we cannot predict about where it's going, but at the same time, we still be very excited about this journey. It's very similar to the life process, like how we can be excited about new discoveries without expectations and without any judgment. So it's a challenge, definitely. Only very wise people can do it, to be excited without expectations. So next step, we are going to learn how to round corners, how to transform sharp angles into something harmonious, because this right now looks like a little bit messy. So there is no much beauty in it. So when two neural lines cross each other, they create angles. From ancient times, our perception to angles is to, we recognize them as something danger. It usually represents teeth, claws, spikes, knives, any sharp objects. In our physical body starts defending ourselves, like it's just imprinted in our mind. So, but if we see something round, something soft, something circular, it reminds us mother breath, mother womb, moon, sun. It has completely different emotional charge, and we can relax and we can trust. Like when there is no sharp object, we can relax. So we will learn how to transform corners into something soft and round. So if you see these four corners, each of them remind me letter V. So we need to transform it in letter U. So from V to U. So we create this beautiful curve, and we just color what does not belong to it. And we repeat it all 4 times. So try it, see how it's working for you. So I show you like on a bigger scale, but we will come back to our first work and do it. So be careful when we have these 2 skinny lines, and if you, I've seen it like hundreds times. So when we try to round all these corners, and we round and round and round, and we create this big, bold spike. There is nothing harmonious about it. There is nothing safe, and we really want it to be smooth. So in this case, we make lines stronger. We expand them. We create this softer transition from spike. Sometimes we need to make stronger every line in our drawing, because this is the only way it will be bolder, but it still have this smooth transition, and energy can move. Like each line represents a thought, a process, or your behavior, like how do you behave. And it's interesting, but from the way people draw their lines and how they round corners, you can tell a lot about them. And we will talk about later before. So try on your first drawing, try to round several corners. This will be just the beginning. This is just learning. You can come back to this drawing later and finish all corners. But right now, intention is to learn those basic steps, because I want to share with you something, some exercise that is very important and very effective. Like for 2 years, I believe that this is all Neurographica. I was surprised that you need to learn for 9 months, over 240 hours to become instructor if there is only one exercise. I was surprised how many you can do with Neurographica. Okay, so try to round all those corners, see how you feel. And in Neurographica, we always pay attention to 3 points. Our physical sensation, because drawing, when we draw, it's not just to feel calmer. It's actually, we want to change. We want to change something in our life. Our reactions to stress, or maybe our perceptions to relationship, or maybe find a solution for healing, or what you need to do with your new job, or how to find your new job. So we really set up a very pragmatic goals when we do Neurographica. It's not just to create beauty. So drawing will be secondary. The most important in Neurographica, what is going on with an artist, what is going on inside of you, what you experienced, what were your insights, what was your sensations, how your body reacted, what kind of emotions you experienced. So you are more important than what you create. And creation, as a result, will be very inspiring as well, because you don't have any expectation from what you create. Your creation can be, you can, like, for many people, that my students, they did not use color pencils for decades, and they were amazed how you can create, how much you can create when you don't have limitations about your expectations. Like when you don't expect that your drawing should be perfect, you still be able to create very beautiful art and very emotional. There will be emotions that we express in our drawings. So see if it's easy for you to round. I have to warn you that because I worked with challenging people, and not with children, but with challenging lives, let's say. Some of people may not recognize corners. And the reason is that we're working with symbols. Like the moment we say that corner represent conflicts, aggression, some challenges in our lives, for some people who experienced it so much in their lives and they did not know how to react to them, brain at some point stop recognizing them, and they're like, enough, no conflicts in my life, I will be blind to them. So if you for any reason don't see those corners, let me know. It's just there is some other things that I can give you some advices. Okay, so this is basically, we learn how to recognize conflicts and transform it in something positive, and see how everything become connected in the drawing. So now we learn how to draw narrow lines, how to round. It's time to make big changes in our lives. So before we start, I invite you to pick a topic that you want to work on. You want to express something that you want to change, something that you want to release limitations. The exercise that we are going to do is called algorithm releasing inner constraints. And if you have some patterns and some behaviors that you repeat all the time, so see, or it's appeared like somebody behaves the same time over and over again, like unhappy in a relationship, or you have the same arguments arguing at work. Some big topics may be not enough, one drawing may be not enough, but at least we can start. So for me, today's topic will be, yesterday I submitted a paperwork, and I want to release all constraints, my perception to it, that it will be smooth and accepted from first try. So paperwork. I want to feel good about it. I'm like, I don't want to be any more stressed. It's one of my educations that I just submitted all this certification paperwork. So okay, it's a little bit messy handwriting, let's see. And I will set up 2 minutes. 2 minutes exercise, and it's in just 2 minutes we will do brainstorming. You will write down all associations related to this topic. It may make sense to you or not. Some words will be just random words for you, but somehow your mind, your brain holds these associations related to this topic. Some people can, names can show up, some bad words can show up. Some made-up words can be appearing, and words can be repeated. So every time you have some associations, you write it down. And with 2 minutes, I encourage you to write as many words as possible. So are we ready? So 2 minutes, it goes. Any language that's convenient, comfortable for you. We have about 1 more minute. Okay, 2 minutes it is. You can finish the last word. And first of all, I want you to count how many words you wrote. How many words? Well, just count them without analyzing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 31 words. And what's going on? See.
25.
Okay, good. And 26 we have. Usually, if it's more than 20, it means that your neuron system is activated. This is a very important topic for you, and you think about it a lot, and it's easy to activate emotions related to it. But sometimes topics can be so painful that people don't even allow themselves to think about it. And they have like 6, 7 words related to the topic, which in 2 minutes, it means the brain is really locked. Something is hidden there. So see if any of those words really strike you, like something unusual, something that you did not expect. And I have such several words. It's actually, I did not expect that my list will be so many negative words. The paperwork is really about beauty and about transformation, but I have several times I have the word fear, and I have the word ugliness, and it's I don't know why is it these associations yet, but there is something that my mind is somehow connected this to two experiences, my paperwork and this word. So see if in your list there is some word that's unusual that you cannot explain, and see how do you feel about them. What kind of emotions arise in your body? What kind of sensations in your body appear related to it? Now I invite you to put your feet on the ground. Make sure that you feel the texture of your floor, that we are grounded enough, and we try to scan our body, like see if there is any sensations in any parts of your body, what kind of emotions in your body. And we take a deep inhale, and we start scooping all those emotions related to the topic. We are guiding them to your right hand, if you're righty, and if you're lefty, to your left hand. So we take you can take a marker, you can take a color pencil, or you can take a pen. I will try to use this Uniball pen today. So, and I try to, like, I will show you how to do it, and you will do it later, so right after me. So I scoop with my inhale all these emotions, all the sensations in my body, guide them to my hand and to my marker. So marker becomes an extension of my hand. And through the tip of the marker, I will express all those emotions. Like I will do like inhale, and with exhale, I will do such a catharsis. If the paper will be teared or crumbled, it's okay. It means that you express your emotions. So I invite you to take a deep inhale, scoop all those emotions, and with exhale, we do catharsis on the paper. Okay. Did everyone had a chance to create this mess? Okay, beautiful mess, Derek. So I know that Marina has done it already several times, so she is an expert in doing it. So let's now see, this is how much pressure you have in your body related to the topic. How do you resonate with this? Like what, like, is it any associations to it? And how big is it? And a very important step, now we start rounding all these corners, all these challenges, that all this that we express, like we brought something hidden from our subconsciousness, and now we start transforming. So we just doing simple steps, we round all those created corners. So, and if you need to make stronger, sometimes when we do catharsis, some of our lines can be invisible. And we just working with the corners inside of this shape, like of our catharsis. We don't yet try doing anything with our external corners, with external spikes that pointed other way. So we are just rounding those inner, we're working with our inner conflicts. This is our conflicts, like nobody else. This is what is going on inside of me. And as I said, like sometimes the topic could be so big, so painful, that you cannot transform. You may, like I've seen some miracles, but in most cases, you can do several drawings about the same topic and see how every time you're shifting, something is changing in your self, in your life, some realization, some understanding. This is the moment when we use Neurographica as an art meditation, when we can be calmed down and see how it's, your body starts relaxing. But not necessary. Sometimes when we bringing something hidden from your subconsciousness, the first reactions may be headache or maybe some discomfort. This is your resistance. Your mind doesn't want to change, and we just respect it, but continue slowly but surely change it. We don't force it, but we allow it to change, and we just keep rounding, keep transform negativity in a positive way. So why is it important to recognize conflicts and change them? When we don't recognize conflicts, we cannot prepare ourselves for some situations that could be dangerous for us. Sometimes like situations that could be dangerous for our lives. So if we blind to conflicts, it's not good, because whenever in most cases, you can avoid danger just because you recognize symptoms of it. Like if you see that this is a questionable people around you, or some questionable situations is developing, you can avoid it by, I don't know, find a safer place for yourself. But if you don't recognize that there's no red flags rise in your perception, it's maybe too late when you understand that this is a dangerous situation. And another reason that if you don't recognize conflict, you don't really see when conflicts are caused by you, that you are causing some challenges. It's a very often situation in a relationship when we when we blame another participant and don't recognize when the conflicts are because of us. And this is an opportunity to take responsibility and avoid such conflicts as well. Like when you see like, oh, I recognize symptoms, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going this way, and you just keep transforming it, even before it's developed in something big and challenging, like really challenging. So we're rounding our corners. Again, we're working with symbols, and when we rounding conflicts in harmony, this is we rounding our associations related to it. I have some airplanes confirming my statement. See, pay attention how's your body feels. Like, is there any relaxation? How do you breathe? Like the breathing is really good reflection about how you, what has changed in your body. Do you even breathe? Because we're very often holding the our breath, and don't allow like deep inhales and exhales. Okay, so I rounded my corners almost. I've noticed that I haven't done this spike. And it's a little bit different experience when I don't talk and you can do it in silence and really be in a meditative state during the process. So I highly encourage you to repeat it without any guidance. So would be different experiences. Okay, so this is, I finished. You can continue rounding and don't rush. Don't, you can see this video on YouTube channel or in our group, and I will try to repeat all the steps later so you don't feel left behind. But I need to move forward so we have all steps during the class. So we have, this is how much pressure you have inside of us. And it's very uncomfortable when you have so much pressure and people around you are so relaxed and comfortable and don't understand what you're stressed about. And it's create misunderstanding. It's a different pressure. Like if you are air balloon and if you pump and pump the air balloon, and the balloon has so much pressure and the surroundings has none, you will explode at some point. So how we can create comfortable pressure inside and outside, how we can create this comfortable environment. So we start finding people around us that has the same pressure. And if you notice, like when you're stressed, it seems like everybody around is stressed. When you are in pain, people suffering will be attracted to you as well, because it's just easier to, without really, you are not consciously, but you will find the situations. So now we start expanding this pressure from your inner world to outer world. And not just expanding the pressure, but how we can expand and transform it. Like how we can find people with the same intensity, but comfortable intensity. Love can be intense as well. And we can just attract people with who can experience this intensity. And all the spiky ends we expand to the very edge of your paper. And we tried to dissolve this inner pressure in surroundings. We really connecting. Like if we need help, we reach to society, because we are the society. We find people like-minded. So we expanding those lines with the neural lines. Like we really can start expanding them from any side. And we allow the society reach to us. So we, people outside start reaching to us. They may ask for help. And they may offer help. So we just draw this beautiful lines. We don't expect what kind of help and connections there will be. This is a beauty, that we can be excited about connection without direct expectations, that we can be connected to people without exactly like telling them like what you need to do to make me happy. You can still be open to different possibilities, and people feel comfortable when you don't have much expectations from them. So I created quite even bigger mess. I still see my catharsis, and now there's so much movement in my life. There's so many people and connections and mess. So now we start cleaning this mess. We start rounding corners again. So we create mess and we clean it. We create and clean it. This is a lifetime experience, and we just integrate. Like when we reach to the society, society is kind and gentle to us. We releasing all these challenges, conflicts, possible conflicts, all these corners. We transform them in something soft and gentle, some harmonious. Like we really prepare ourselves and society to a beautiful, gentle interactions, to be connected on a different level without any expectations. And at the same time, open to all possibilities. Like it's really, it's our limitations that society should be harsh and should be messy. There are so many beautiful people in society, and for different, like, and it's not, I'm just not talking about people. There could be environment in general. It could be animals, it could be nature. And you can find support and help everywhere when you're aware that help is available. When you're aware that there's so many opportunities to receive help, and you just learn how to integrate those opportunities in your life, in your perception of life. Like somebody else can do it differently. And we start rounding and see if you how your body reacts to feel connected to society, connected to your environment. How does it resonate with you? Like maybe emotions, like the Neurographica could be very emotional. So even seeing yourself connected through this very abstract lines could be emotional, and how you can find peace and harmony in those emotions. How you can be grounded and balanced in those emotions. See if you need to put your feet on the ground. I highly recommend to drink clean water, because water is the best natural information carrier. So it helps us to release old patterns, old beliefs, and bring in the new ones. And we start and see how everything, like after you round everything, how it's become integrated and united at the same time. And you may receive some insights about your topic. And at the very end of this class, there will be opportunity to share your drawings, and maybe I will be able to give you some feedback about your not necessarily about your topic, but about some of your personality uniqueness, let's call it, based on your drawing. Because sometimes we have stuck in the system so much that we don't, we need somebody to bring our attention to some aspects that we don't recognize anymore. Because people from who are outside of your system can see some aspects easier, because they don't have such emotional relationship to this situation. They can be more objective. So it's only if you want. And if you don't want it to share on camera, you can email it to me, and I will provide my email just in a second. So I have, usually my students are women, but I love when we have men in the group. And for some men, it's the only way to meditate, when they repeat something simple and still feel satisfied and still feel zen and feel harmony, like the peace. And it's an activation of creativity. It's like really. So this is a important step, but next step when we start coloring this will be interesting adventure for everybody. And Neurographica we always color because the work is not only black and white, it's colorful, and it's an opportunity to recognize this different colors, different emotions, different shades of emotions in our life. And create whatever you want. You may rotate your drawing if you want, so there is no necessary to hold it in one direction. Okay. And sometimes when we do catharsis, when we have like very painful topics, like I have many students who are drawing health issues, and health issues are always challenging. There is a lot of tension there. I encourage when you do catharsis, use your voice. You can scream, you can sing, you can roar, whatever makes you to release this pressure from inside out, like keep it distant, express it with all this available tools, like, and voice is one of the greatest tools, like do it with catharsis. Do it like, I would really recommend to use your voice as much as possible to release stress. I do sound healing, like right now I don't do it because the house is full of people due all this challenges related to COVID-19, but it's I used to have regular sessions, and voice is really helping me and my students to release so much pressure. Like it's a very beautiful way to heal yourself. Okay, I do it like all the roundings. I'm usually quite fast because I'm just done it, 1,000 times. But don't rush. The joy is really when you have this luxury of time, and this is a very important. Don't rush your emotions. Don't rush any transformations. Don't rush any decisions, because when we rush, we don't have all this potential that we can use. And it's very important to slow down and be in a resourceful position to make any important decisions. And Neurographica, like we are constantly doing important decisions. We're transforming very important topics for us. So there is no point. You may take a smaller piece of paper, like maybe it's half of the page. Sometimes you can use a sticky note and have opportunity to work with your topics. I'll show you some of my drawings on sticky notes. So this is my teeny tiny stress releases. And right now we are going through the marathon, and I'll show you some drawings that I've done. It's already, what, 2 weeks now. So I'll show you my drawings related to it, just for you. So this, like the small cards, I can even give them as a present. And every time it's a different insights, different experience related to each drawing. Everyone is charged with some emotions, but every drawing has the same steps, all the same steps that we will learn today. And one more. So it should not be very big if you don't have much time. 30 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes enough. It's just you take a smaller paper. And some people with very good imagination and ability to visualize can do catharsis and rounding in their mind. I have a friend, and like, I love this story that I showed her this exercise, and she was like, next morning she had a very important meeting, and her manager was not happy for some reason. He's just a grumpy person in general. And she starts arguing, and she's like, the whole meeting I was doing catharsis in my head and rounding, and it was very helpful for her to don't follow this anxiety that usually it's caused this, but be in a still be in a present moment, and there in her own power take all this critique that was constructive and let go. Don't take it personal. Whatever was not hers, what was not related to her problems. So if you have a very good visualization ability, you can try to do it in your mind. And almost done with roundings. So there is only one criteria in Neurographica, what is considered a good quality Neurographica drawing. The Neurographica drawing is actually just defined by how many lines you have, how many connections, how many intersections, nexuses you created on your drawing. Because when we have a very strong belief system, we need to create new neuron connections in our mind to create something even stronger, to create something more powerful, allow the energy, thoughts, integrate new thoughts, new belief systems in your mind. See how it's on yours. I usually have like very busy drawings with all these lines. Yours could be much calmer. I have very busy mind usually. Okay. Okay, so I did color. Oh, I did round all these corners. See if there's any spikes. And you can notice them later. Like some corners are hidden and you may find them a little bit later. Next step, very important, when we start coloring everything, and I invite you to pick colors that resonates with you. You don't need to think like, how is it going to look at the end? Just see which colors you want to put on this drawing, and we will figure it out like how we will blend them together. So just choose what you want. I will do some gentle blue and gentle pink today. I invite you to use at least three colors, but there is no limitations how many you can do. Like I don't, you can do even one color and just combine it, but colors usually represents emotions, and we're such a complex creatures that one emotion, it's a little bit limiting. So how we can integrate more emotions in our life related to this topic. Everything that we do is related to this topic, and we start coloring. In Neurographica, like when we have so many details and we rounded each corner, this is the way we cleaning details, we paying attention to details. Now it's a opportunities to step back and look at the picture on bigger picture. When you're not stuck in details, but you can look on the bigger meanings and bigger purposes of this topic in your life. So it's when we stuck in details, it's you don't see the whole picture, and something could be very obvious when you step back. So we start coloring, and with color we unite several segments going across those lines, and we just connect them, like creating bigger shapes. Sometimes you can create bigger flow of color, or just unusual shapes, because with all these neural lines you have this beautiful curves that creating very unusual segments that could be connected in unusual figures and shapes. And it's you may start trying to recognize something that you familiar, like hearts, wings, flowers, but it's really not necessary. Like if you see, it's okay, but if you don't see, it's even better, because your mind usually don't like abstract. Like mind is really trying to find some meanings, to find some old associations related to it. And it's okay, at the beginning you may recognize many of those shapes, many of those new patterns, but try to be as abstract as possible. Try to be as open. Okay, so mine is this pink wave. And they can be expanded as much as you want. Like you don't, there is no really shape that must be on your drawing. It could be anything. So try to just create it as abstract as you feel comfortable with. You can use color pencils, you can use markers to color, or sometimes you can, Pavel Piskarev himself prefer to use highlighters. Highlighters are translucent enough to create and bright enough to create very beautiful shapes, very beautiful bright drawings. So You can try highlighters. I'm not a big fan of highlighters, but you can try. Maybe it's your tool, maybe it's your instrument. And you can blend several colors together, or you can do some grading and shadings and see how you can create 3D effects on your drawings, on your shapes. See if it's working for you. There's really, you don't need any drawing experience. All art I do is quite simple methods, like I use dotting as to create my mandalas, and I do Neurographica. So because I don't have a traditional art education, I've never even dreamed to teach how to draw. But you expect something to appear in your life. Okay, it's an interesting pink. So much pink on my drawing today. Watercolor pencils are very good because they're soft. You can, like I tried several times to dissolve them with water. So watercolors pencils are really, I like them just as pencils. Like I have, for example, these are my watercolor pencils, Kohinor brand. If you can try, you can see if you want to dissolve them later. Mine did not really look nice after dissolving. They look quite messy, the drawing, so I stopped trying. I have a student who uses all the lines or just with a Uniball pen, and she used watercolor paint for coloring. And in this case, it's a very beautiful because it's very clean with all this beautiful integration of colors, of shades of the same colors. But experiment. I know that some people do the watercolor pencils and dissolve them later. And it's I believe it's a question of mastery. So I did not achieve that level for mastery. Okay. It will be a lot of pink today on my drawing. Interesting. I'm not a big fan of pink. Something very pinkish. Okay. I think it's enough pink. Some blue. And if you have hard time to pick a color, You can close your eyes and just pick a random color for yourself and see how you can blend it, how you can use it. It's really opportunity to be very creative about resources that you have. And it's, even if it's going to be random colors, they will still be representing your personality a lot, because out of these random colors, you will use something more, something less, and it may create this very clear image of you, of your emotional response to the topic. You may stay with color within lines, or you may go beyond them. So it's there is no limitations about it. See what do you want on your drawing? What do you feel you're called to do? There's no good or bad colors. Usually colors have some meanings, like we can give some interpretation to different colors, but the most important, what kind of associations you have with those colors, because my interpretations may be completely wrong if you have very clear associations based on your experiences related to this color. So yours is always more important than anybody's opinion. So especially about your piece, about your drawing. Pay attention. How do you feel? What's reactions in your body when you start coloring? How has it changed compared to what was at the beginning? Is there any sensations in your body, or is there any energy? How do you breathing? How do you is any changed in your emotional state? So pay attention, your body, emotions, and your mind, like what you're thinking about, any insights, any realizations. Do you feel like your mind is slowing down, or is it still be very busy, very active? There is no good or bad or like perfect solution for everything. Like it could be for some people it could be one solution, for another it could be different. So be very honest with you, like don't try to imitate anything. Like if you want your drawing be very pretty, but you feel like this drawing, I want it so dark, I want to use like very dark intense colors, let it be dark and intense, because this darkness and intensity is hidden inside of you. Let it out, let it be expressed, and maybe you will, at the end, you will see the beauty of it. Like maybe it will be very inspirational for you. So instead of trying to suppress it back. And don't afraid to ruin your drawing. Sometimes your drawing can be like you do everything and it's and you don't achieve this moment when you say like, wow, now I like it. Maybe it needs to stay for a while until you decide to come back and add something different, add something more to your drawing. There are some drawings that I was working on for 9 months. It's almost like I have a drawing that representing my whole life. And several times I came back and completely changed it without really taking new, like I kept everything that was already on the drawing. I just did another layer and another layer. And it resonates so much with really with my life. And at the end, I was very satisfied and like I felt joy and I felt satisfaction and a lot of energy was discovered for me, many insights. And some drawings can take just 15 minutes and feel joy and excitement. So it's really time does not define how you're going to feel at the end. It's different topics really give some charge, like emotional charge to some experience, and some drawings will be resonating. Like, no, every drawing will resonate with the topic. You may like try to do different topics, different catharsis. You will see how different is the original math that you express on your paper. And it's will be different way you're drawing narrow lines in colors will be different. And so there's so much related to different topics. It's only because you choose different topic. Nothing, you haven't changed, but everything has changed at the same because you are working on something different. Try to do a drawing about your work and about your relationship. It will be completely different drawings, different emotions related to it. So it's always interesting how we express our emotions on paper. Okay. I want to make it a little bit more intense with colors. I want to do some shadings. So about 80% of my drawings still be based on this exercise. Whenever I want to change something or prepare myself to release some stress, I do this exercise. There is much more to learn, but change your perception is usually the most important. So you can use it as many times as you want. Like you don't, again, you don't need to do it like big size on a big paper. You can use it on much smaller. And it's not just negativity that you want to express. Sometimes it's very important to express positive emotions like your love, your joy, your gratitude. So see if you want to do, if you want to see how they look, how they resonate with you when you look at them. Learn something new about your and positive emotions. We actually much often hold back our positive emotion than negative. Okay. You know, today this pink is like very demanding. Very, so much pink on my drawing. Okay, see, you pay attention to your body reactions, like sensations, any changes. Sometimes you may start feeling hot, you may start feeling cold. If there is any pressure in your wrist, like if you're very intense, if your hand is very intense during the rounding, it means that you're very stressed about dealing with conflicts, and it's very unpleasant for you. But we just need to change our perception, like that conflicts are needed. Conflicts actually give us some, it's a needed element of our life. And we need to deal with conflicts, like when you want to agree with something, or like when you want to say yes or no. Anything can cause a conflict, and you need to feel comfortable about dealing with conflicts. We try to avoid them, but we need to make sure that we stand our ground, that we don't suffer, don't become a victim because we try to avoid conflicts at any cost. So. And in most cases, when we have this relaxed attitude towards conflicts become very simple for us. And they are not even become conflicts. They become just, okay, some negotiation. It's just like one of the students who participate in marathon, she said like, during her drawing, she said that I enjoy negotiation process. No, like when we try to figure out what is needed for everyone. I'm like, wow, I've never thought that negotiation as a process could be pleasant, because I want like, okay, it's need to be done, let's do it. But I always focus so much on the goal. So this was big insight for me, that the negotiation as a process can be joyful, can be nice and rewarding itself. Just a process, not even the goal. Okay. So try to use, maybe you want to use some unusual color that you never use. Maybe it's a good opportunity for you to experiment on your drawing. See how you like it. Okay. So I spiced some things here. So instead of being just gentle blue, I a little bit added some grading. And we have some more steps to do with our drawing. We are not over yet. There's something very important to add. Just want to finish. And again, you can come back to your drawing at any time. You don't need to, but you can do it. And you can add as many lines as you need at the during this process, even during the coloring, you can add more lines. Just make sure that you round all these new corners that happened. Okay, so I think I'm done with sculling. It's like I encourage you to use 3 colors. I used 4 and mostly 2 for just for the shading. Okay, so very important, as I said, like we have this vibration that represent ourselves, like all these lines. It's as you see, they have a wave, so it's our vibration that we express to the world. But the universe has its own vibration, and we want to be aligned with this vibration. We want to be at the right place, to meet right people, to be synchronized with other people, with situations, with projects around us. So let's synchronize us. Let's align ourselves with the universe. And I usually use very bold markers like the Sharpie chisel tip. You can use just like repeat several times. You can use color pencils for this process as well. It's not necessary it should be black. It could be different color as well. And what I'm going to do with all this bold marker, I will follow some of my lines, sometimes exactly, sometimes it wants to create new lines, new path, and I create this bold lines that will represent universe. They will represent divine support, universal support, oneness, totality, synchronicity with this huge energies, huge resources, and want to be aligned with them. So I create those. They can divide, they can merge, they can cross each other. See what you feel, what you experience, like how does it want to be on your drawing. Like mine are really creating new path all the time. Like really don't want to just be gentle. So some say like, wow, it's ruined my drawing. Everything so bold and ugly. Next step, round corners. Whenever it's intersect with other lines, try to round it. Like try to this guidance from the universe. Be gentle, integrate it with yourself. So it's a guidance, not force. That we are prepare ourselves for changes, for opportunities, for people in our lives that come and go. Like there is no necessity they need to stay forever with us. And we just allow it to be aligned with this divine purpose, with our karmic destination, with our karmic destiny. So allow yourself to be to trust to the universe that whatever you're doing, like whatever you're experiencing right now, has a bigger meaning, has a bigger purposes, and it's leading you somewhere beautiful. Like I like the saying that the hard, challenging path is usually leading to very beautiful destinations. So we are integrating and see, like when you start rounding all these corners, it's getting again smooth and safe. This narrow line looks very safe because there is no spikes, there is no harsh corners, and whatever is, because it's safe, our subconsciousness allowed it to be integrated, allowed to be accepted. So we use this narrow line to go beyond our consciousness and explore our subconsciousness. This is the whole drawing is a message from our subconsciousness. And we draw the message, and we will see how it's experience it. And again, after you activated this huge resource from this universe that is always available for you, how do you feel? Any changes in your body, in your emotional state? How do you feel? Be connected to the universe, to be connected to the bigger purposes, to be connected to, you know, to many people. You may create new lines to like integrate even more this bold lines. See how you want to create more connection. And because it's bold even when you follow the old lines, it still be creating new corners. So make sure that you follow each line and round each corner. So if you use a Sharpie on top of color pencils, it could be a challenge. Pen is okay, but if you use Sharpie, it could be, the tip could be affected by color pencils and don't work well. So you can use a black color pencil and just sharpen it and use it for rounding. So it's usually the solution I do. Like, you don't have to use black color for catharsis. It could be color pencils, or it could be color markers. I use black because it's easier to see on screen, on camera, but you don't have to be limited to black color. So see which one you want, like which one is easier for you and more pleasant for you. So, okay, so we round the corners and we need to do some more steps. One more drawing step and one just for us to think about. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm like, I can talk, but your questions are very precious, so ask. Okay. When we do catharsis, there is some rule, like if you've done catharsis, try to round it before you set it aside, like before you go to bed, because you activate some emotional uneasiness, like some emotions in your body, and it will be boiling if you don't let it around, like, because we need to organically and safely, emotionally safely, to transform it. So if you have some catharsis, try to at least round the first shape. Don't set it aside for a long time, because you may be very agitated during that time. We are working with neuron system directly, and it's important to give it enough support and peace in the process. So we don't want to overwhelm anything. There is like, this is the only ecology rule, that Neurographica ecology. I consider Neurographica as emotional hygiene. When we overwhelmed with something, we always can do the catharsis and release this emotions, overwhelming emotions, overwhelming situations, and how we can support us in this, in anything that is going on in your life. It really doesn't, like if you take smaller piece of paper, it doesn't take much time, but it's maybe very good resource for you to help yourself to be emotionally balanced. Okay, so I integrated all my field lines. Those lines that we, universal lines, they officially they called field lines. So if anyone will mention field lines, this is how they look. Field is an informational pool of energies and information that we are activated in our drawing. And one more step, what do we want to remember about our drawing? We need to create some such an anchor to remember and see if any of your on your drawings has the shape that you want to remember. Sometimes it's a heart, sometimes it's a circle, and sometimes the shape can be like you see the shape, but it's not finished completely, and you want to define it well. So, for example, on my drawing, what I want to define this circle, you see, the circle represents harmony and balance. And I just finish this curve to make sure that it looks like a circle. And I round all these corners that happened. And I want to remember it, so I need to, I want to color it as well. So I want it to color the way that it will be standing out. So it will be my anchor to my experience, to my sensations, to my discoveries. And my discoveries are really about integration, about these two energies, pink and blue, and how they could be feminine and masculine, how it could be integrated. I don't know why is it even related to the topic, because topic is not about this, but maybe it is. I need just to look at this differently. And I want to highlight it, like I want to make it noticeable. So when I look at my drawing, element will be recognized like the most. This will be standing out. So I use purple color, that combination of the blue and pink. And I just do this, trying to do like 3D effect on it, like a ball sphere. This is an opportunity to integrate. And purple is really a combination of two colors. And usually the purple is recognized as a color of spirituality. And maybe spirituality is really how you can balance inside of you all those energies, feminine and masculine, how you can find this integration, this very big powers, big energies. Okay, I think this pencil is done. I see, I use some extenders for such small pencils. I don't think it's even can be sharpened anymore. Yeah, maybe one more drawing, that's all. Okay, so this is called fixation. What we want to remember from our drawing, how we can highlight, how we can remember make it noticeable, and you can expand if you feel like you can even expand those lines out of your fixated shape. Okay, I think it's already enough. It's like, so if you have any questions, let me know. And we have 10 more minutes. And if you want to share your drawing with us, please do so. And I can give you my insights about it. There is no judgment. It's just usually it's like interesting, like pay attention to this and this. This is may represent this aspects or not. Hello, Marina. Nice to see you again. Like, if you want to say something, like you need to turn on your sound.
Anna again, so I'm
hello.
My drawing today.
Yes, I see like very big heart in the middle. And
yeah.
I love how like this field lines really make it very strong channel. So
yeah, and I feel today like I need two more lines, small connections. So if you see, I did a lot today.
Yes, it's and I love how beautiful and gentle colors you used.
So I use watercolors today. So
okay.
I try several times. So for watercolors, you need to use special watercolor paper.
Yes, this is what like everybody's telling me.
So I use a watercolor paper today because you can mix if you use regular paper or you use cardboard, something like this. You need to use a special watercolor paper.
I actually have it, and I just need to like find it and start using. And I can give you some feedback. Like one of my students is a professional artist, and she uses a watercolor paint like a lot. And I was surprised that she's American, there is no Russian roots for her. And she said like the best watercolor paint is White Nights by St. Petersburg. So if you have them, like they are the best quality.
They good quality.
Yeah. They're very good quality, and like I have them as well. Like I just need to get myself and start coloring. So pay attention that some of the field lines still need created some corners. So make sure that you go along them and round generously all these corners to make sure that the universe is guiding, not forcing anything. And I love how heart is really like everything is focusing and very directed to one point. Something is moving forward, like a lot of movement. And another thing that I wanted to say, like I love how colorful your surroundings become. Remember, it was a little bit different at the beginning. Yes, like now it's so much beautiful colors around you. Like any changes in your community?
I don't know, I became more calm, more relaxing, so I think change around me.
Which is a good too. This is a very important as well. So thanks a lot for sharing. Like I will take your tip about watercoloring paper. Maybe I need to explore this a little bit more.
And I finished in Russia art school, and we used same watercolors St. Petersburg. So, and I was surprised when people use it right here too.
And yeah, there are several stores that you can buy it even. So,
but it's very expensive. It's expensive.
Not as expensive as American watercolors. So, Derek, do you want to share your drawing? Okay.
Yes. Here's mine.
Okay, a little bit far from camera, so I can see it, everything. A little bit even more, closer to yourself, closer to yourself. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so beautiful. It's like a busy mind. Okay, Derek, so pay attention how few lines goes to the bottom of your drawing. You need more grounding. You need more grounding. So draw this grounding for yourself. Like you can even keep the intention that, okay, I'm more connected to the earth. I'm more present in my body. And this is a very important for you to like be grounded, because you're all about dreams, about future, but you need to be present, like be very present. Another thing that see how you're not, okay. So see this red color with orange on top. There is like almost triangle red color. So there is some, I cannot say like the, it's maybe some anger that you try to suppress. So allow yourself, like there is a lot of room to express, like gently express it. It's because if you suppress, it's become boiling and boiling and overwhelming. So guide it to this safe path, like that. It may be expressed through the sport, or it can be expressed through the activity, or can be like, we need anger. Anger helps us to develop business or some achieve goals, set up goals. So like there is nothing wrong about anger. The anger becomes dangerous when it's suppressed, and we need to channel it. Another thing that I want you to pay attention, that you make mixing colors when there is no lines. You don't stay within lines, and it's okay, but it may represent some of your personality. That colors are emotions, and you can be affected by emotions that are somebody else's emotions, not necessarily yours. So like traditionally it's called empathy, but when you in your body may experience emotions that's not yours. And it's very important to identify such emotions, like this is mine, this is not mine. The best, you need to be very grounded to experience it. It's a gift. It's nothing bad about empathy. It's actually a gift, and to feel other people. There is more opportunities to round more corners. So just pay attention to it. And I know that maybe you need, maybe it just requires a little bit more time. And don't bring more support from the universe. Create bolder lines like this, like very strong lines that you will not just know that it's available, but see opportunities when the universe is really supporting you. Like take a bolder black pencil and just draw them, like, because it's not just synchronicity, it's really guidance. Like you will see the very strong channel which path you have to follow, and it may give you even more and stronger grounding as well. So thank you. Like very colorful. There is no, like, I know that like there is a white corner, but I believe it's because not finished yet.
Yes.
So you really keep busy yourself, emotionally busy, and maybe even actively participating in everything around you. So a lot of green. I love this green flow that you have. This is really helps. You're a very kind person, I would say. A lot of green, but just pay attention to this. You see even this red triangle that is separating the flow of the green. It's like there is some blockages, but it's you can give two interpretations. It can be like a blockages, but the heart is really supporting it. It's like, it's really like you have all opportunities and all belief systems that can be expressed gently. So there is nothing to be like it's not about shame to be angry. It's just like, okay, observation. There is no judgment. I'm angry. I need to find a safe way to express it, and it's a beautiful opportunity to create something even better in your life. Thanks a lot for your sharing. It's like, and for attending. Like, I love when we have different energies, and I highly recommend to every man to draw Neurographica, because it's opportunity to find creativity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
thank you for having me.
Let me switch my camera so I can say one more time goodbye to you. So again, please join our group. There is a lot of resources there and a huge international community. We have people from Australia, from Europe, from New Zealand, from all over the place, and it's a opportunity to be connected and on a very creative way. Like, we share our drawings, we share our stories, we share our transformations. We have right now like 1 more week to do marathon 20, like we started already 2 weeks ago, but you can do it as well. Like, just do like everyday drawing about the same topic over and over, and it will help you to peel all those layers from very complex belief systems that you have. I have a YouTube channel. We're starting in August, we're starting another course, certified Neurographica basic user, so please join us there. And thanks a lot for being interested in Neurographica. You can attend this class as many times as you want. Please bring your friends, share this knowledge with anyone. The video recording will be on YouTube, and my channel, it's called Neurographica School. And if you type Anna Romanenko, like, let's see if I can find it and just share this link to this channel. There is like many drawings right now, and you can see all my drawings through from classes, and there's like 2-3 hours classes, so long, but they like have many different challenging topics, sometimes combined with breathing exercises, and it's an opportunity to learn a lot. So thanks a lot. I hope to see you one day somewhere else, and goodbye to East Coast. So I will.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.